Is the NBA draft lottery rigged? It's one of the biggest conspiracy theories in all of sports, and I'm here to dispel that myth. I'm Alex Kennedy from basketballnews.com, and I'm going to explain why it's pretty much impossible that the NBA could rig the current draft lottery. Now, I'm not here to defend the 1985 NBA draft lottery where they pulled envelopes and Patrick Ewing went to the New York Knicks. It's possible they could have rigged that one. They could have frozen an envelope, they could have bent a corner. I'm not here to defend that. There's plenty of conspiracy theories out there. The NBA was in a very different place, and I wasn't born yet. I'm here to talk about the current iteration of the NBA draft lottery and talk about why it's impossible to rig these days. I think a lot of fans think that the NBA draft lottery works by putting 14 ping pong balls in a machine, and each ping pong ball has a team's logo on it. So if they really wanted to give, say, the Minnesota Timberwolves the number one overall pick, they could just put weights or magnets or whatever in that team's ping pong ball, have it draw up first, pull it out, and then pick the rest of the picks. That's not how it works. The way it works is they put 14 ping pong balls numbered 1 through 14 into the machine, and they hand out combinations. They draw 4 balls at a time. So they might draw 1, 2, 3, and 4, see which team has that combination, and that's the team that gets the number one overall pick. There are 1,001 combinations in total, and the worse your record is, the more combinations you get. So for the 3 teams that had the worst record, they get 140 combinations each. That's why they have a 14% chance of winning the lottery. So they pull these combinations out, and that's where anyone that says the NBA draft lottery is rigged, that's where they lose me. I always ask fans, if it is rigged, explain to me how. How does it work? How are they able to draw the exact right balls when they need to and have the same balls not pop up over and over again if they were to add something to them? Let's say the Minnesota Timberwolves were the team they wanted to award the number one pick to, and they do have that combination 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's the one they want to pop up. If they put different weights or magnets in the ball, how could they guarantee that it would be 1 through 4 and not 2, 3, 4, 1? And let's say they could figure out how to make it pop up 1, 2, 3, 4 every single time. That's the problem. It would pop up every single time. They don't change the balls out after the number one pick is drawn. They use those same balls to draw picks number 2, 3, and 4. And then after that, everything is dependent on the standings. They just stick with the order of the standings and the records, and that's how they kind of determine it. They don't actually draw all 14 picks. So I don't understand how it'd be possible. There's so many people in that room that would see something fishy happening if they switched the balls out or if the same thing kept popping up over and over again, the same combination. That's my next point. There's so many people behind the scenes in that room. There's NBA executives, there's NBA coaches, there's media. Every team has a representative from their organization that's there to make sure everything goes well and to be a good luck charm. There's also media there. You're telling me in all the years they've been rigging the draft lottery that no media member wanted to write a tell-all book about how it happened or go on their podcast and talk about, here's what I saw. It didn't make sense. You're telling me no NBA executive whose job security depends on getting a high draft pick and landing the best prospects wouldn't freak out if they saw even the slightest thing that was fishy or made them consider that it was rigged? These coaches and executives would have so much to lose and would be so frustrated if they saw something fishy behind the scenes. Yet no one's ever spoken out. You never heard media members saying they saw something weird. And if you want to see, you can look it up too. Every year they put the drawing on YouTube and NBA.com. I hear fans sometimes say, well, what are they hiding? Why do we only see the envelopes read on TV? Why don't we get to see the actual drawing? You can. It's on YouTube and NBA.com. The reason they don't put it during the broadcast is because it's extremely boring. It would make for awful television. They read off numbers. You don't know which numbers correspond to which team. You hear some muffled cheering in the background. It's much better for them to read the envelopes off and have the suspense and know exactly which team got the pick instead of reading random numbers. And it's also much longer because the same combinations pop up sometimes. They have to reset them. It's much worse. It's much more boring. And anyone that's actually watched it on YouTube or NBA.com can attest to that. The other thing that I don't understand about this conspiracy theory is that there's so much for the NBA to lose and so little to gain. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. So if it actually came out that the NBA was rigging this and giving certain teams the number one overall pick, they would have so much to lose. There'd be lawsuits. Owners would be furious. Owners that are spending $1 billion on organizations these days would be so upset if they found out it was rigged. Fans would lose interest. Players would be upset. They would have so much money to lose, and there's so little to gain. You're telling me that the NBA would risk all of that and risk their entire business and their credibility and risk becoming wrestling where everything's fake just to give Minnesota a better prospect? It makes no sense to me why they would actually rig it, much less how. Also, no matter which team wins, there's always some reasoning given for why it was rigged for that organization. For example, Minnesota won last year, and the argument was, oh, the NBA knew the Wolves would be sold, so they gifted it to the Timberwolves, and that way the valuation was higher. But fans had 13 other reasonings ready for whichever team popped up. No matter which organization wins the lottery, there's always some reason given. And fans that want to believe the draft lottery is rigged and push that narrative, they run with that reason. So no matter which team wins it. Last year, the Orlando Magic or whoever could have won the lottery, and there'd be a reason for them given as well. There'd be some reason why the NBA rigged it for them. It just makes no sense. There's also third-party people that are involved. Smart Play manufactures the machine that is used. They make the same machines for state lottery games, and before they pull any of the balls out and have the lottery proceedings, they weigh, measure, and certify all of the ping pong balls. You also have a partner from the accounting firm Ernst & Young who's on hand as a third party to ensure nothing fishy is happening. I just don't understand how it's possible for the NBA to rig this. And I don't understand why they would want to with how much they would have to lose. I'm going to read all the comments on this video. Again, I've never heard someone give me a good explanation of how the NBA would rig this current system. I get the old days when they used envelopes. I don't know how they would rig it today. And I don't know why. They would have so much to lose and so little to gain by rigging this. I want to read the comments. If you have a good theory, post it in there and I will check it out. I'll try to respond as well. Good luck tonight as you watch the NBA draft lottery. Hopefully your favorite team has some luck. Thanks for watching.